Hey guys, Claire Bozeman here with Jumprope Revival, where we're training body and soul. In this video, I'm going to go over 10 ways to help you prevent jump rope injuries. Jumping rope is one of the safest forms of exercises, but this doesn't mean that pain and injury can't happen, but it can happen doing anything. But I'm going to go over some ways that'll help you prevent them from happening. But before I do so, I'm going to start with the Bible devotion. Today's devotion comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 18. So we don't look at the troubles we can see now. Rather, we fix our gaze on things that cannot be seen. For the things we can see now will soon be gone, but the things we cannot see will last forever. In what seems like dark and evil times, sometimes we can lose faith and trust in God. But we have an eternal hope, and that eternal hope is Jesus. But in order to understand that hope, we need to switch our focus. Instead of focusing on the things that are here and now, as unbearable as sometimes those things may seem to be, we need to focus on eternity. Our current sufferings, whether we're going through difficult times, uncertainties, or even a lifelong problem, they are temporary. We need to switch our focus to things that are eternal. And when we do that, it makes our suffering seem more bearable. Actually, they make it seem light and quick, because the things that of eternity are forever, and they're going to outweigh and outlast any suffering that we have here in this world. When our faith and trust are challenged in this world, we need to switch our focus to things in the unseen world for encouragement. And by doing so, we will get a glimpse of eternity. Now, when it comes to jumping rope, a common misconception is that it's a high-impact exercise. In fact, it's not. It's a low-impact exercise when done properly. It's even more of a lower impact than running or jogging. The only time it gets to be high impact is if you do any kind of crazy freestyle tricks where you're doing quads or triples or anything like that. But for all intents and purposes, for what we're using it for fitness and a workout, it is a low impact exercise. Again, jumping rope is one of the safest forms of exercise. And again, that doesn't mean that pain and injury can't happen. Now, when it comes to pain, there's good pain and bad pain when it comes to working out. Now, I'm going to give you some good ones and some bad ones to pay attention to. When you experience the bad ones, you need to stop. But if ever, when we're working out, if we stopped the minute we felt pain or discomfort, we'd never work out and we'd never get results. So let me tell you the good pains first. The good pains are when your muscles are burning. That means the lactic acid is building up in your muscles and you're working your muscles, and that's okay. Another thing that's normal is muscle tightness and muscle soreness. That's because you may not have used those muscles in a while, so you're going to feel them get a little tight and you're going to feel them get a little sore. You can help that with stretching and rolling out. Another one is minor muscle fatigue and cramping. That could just be due to, again, you haven't done that exercise in a while, you're not hydrated, and you didn't stretch. Now, the bad ones are if you get any kind of swelling, if you get any kind of tenderness, and if you get any kind of chronic cramping or muscle fatigue. And then another one is if you feel any kind of tingling or spasms or any kind of thing in sharp pains in your muscles. Now, there's 3 key important things to note. Number 1, always check with your doctor before you start any type of exercise program. I am not a medical professional. Number 2, always listen to your body. Your body has a way of communicating and telling you when there is something wrong. Number 3, if you're currently injured, don't jump rope. When jumping rope, there are many reasons why people may experience an injury. Typical injuries that people experience are things that involve their lower extremities, whether it be in their feet, their ankles, their shins, or their knees. Now, however, there are ways that these things can be prevented, and I'm going to go over 10 ways. Warming up. Warming up is the first and foremost most important thing before you begin jumping rope. Now, the reason being is you want to get your heart rate up, you want to get your blood flowing, and you also want to get your muscles warm. Now, I suggest doing this through dynamic stretching. Now, dynamic stretching is a moving stretch, and it basically mimics the exercise you are about to perform. Now, you need to do this because, especially if you're a beginner, I mean, you should always do it, but especially if you're a beginner, because your body needs to get used to that motion and needs to get used to what you're about to put it through. Now, I've done a complete video that goes more into details about warm-ups, why it's important, and it also goes through a circuit. I'll have it linked up here, and be sure to watch that so that you understand the importance of warming up and cooling down. Experience, or shall I say, lack thereof. A lot of times when people are learning something new or they're excited about something they're about to try, a new sport or whatever it may be, they go full-fledged and they go all in. Now, especially if you're a beginner, you definitely don't want to do that. You want to ease into it, because if you just jump right in and go on all out, you are going to injure yourself. So be sure that you ease into it. So nutrition and energy, those are two key factors. Now, nutrition, you want to try to stay away from processed foods. You want to try to have a very healthy diet, maybe eating whole foods, protein. We need vitamin D as well. So fruits, vegetables, things like that. And the other thing is sleep. The average that people should be getting is anywhere between 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Nutrition and sleeping, what you eat and how you rest your body, is where we get our energy from. So if you're not eating properly and you're not sleeping properly, you're not going to have enough energy in order to perform the exercise. Form is so important, as it is with any physical activity. Bad form is a sure win for an injury. Now, yes, jumping rope does have a proper form. All the way from your head down to your feet. I have done a complete video on this, so I highly suggest that you watch this before you start jumping rope. On to footwear and clothing. Now, when it comes to jumping rope, you're jumping rope on the balls of your feet and your toes. So you're going to want a shoe that's supportive in the front part of your shoe, the toe box part, which I highly recommend either a basketball shoe or a cross trainer shoe, especially if you're a beginner. Now, I've been jumping rope for, probably 8 years, and I can jump in running shoes, minimalist shoes, barefoot shoes, either one, or sometimes even barefoot. But I highly do not suggest that for anybody, especially a beginner. But I've been jumping rope for a long time, so my body and my joints and everything are used to those. So again, I suggest basketball or cross-training shoes. Now, for clothing, there are 2 items that I suggest. One, especially for women, are sports bras. Now, you're going to need that for comfort and support. The other item are compression socks. Now, compression socks are going to help prevent shin splints, it's going to help with blood circulation, and it's going to help reduce swelling. Now, I've done a review on compression socks on my Instagram account, which I have linked up down below. Let's talk about surface. Now, one of the greatest things about jumping rope is that you can take it anywhere and do it anywhere. However, if you're a beginner, I highly suggest you find a surface that has some give to it, not something like concrete or asphalt. Now, when I say that has give to it, you can try a wooden basketball court. That has give to it. Or I suggest maybe using a thin carpet. But my high recommendation is a rubber portable mat. That way you can take that with you wherever you go as well. And what that mat is going to do, or what that surface that has a give to it is going to do, is it's going to protect your joints, your ankles, your knees, and it's also going to help you prevent shin splints. Frequency. Everyone asks, how long should I jump for? How many days should I jump for? It's a very popular question. Now, when you're just beginning to jump rope, definitely you want to ease into it and take your time. Jumping rope, you can get a great workout in 5 to 10 minutes. Now, if you're a beginner, I suggest only 5 to 10 minutes. And I don't mean 5 straight minutes that you're jumping rope or 10 straight minutes. I suggest that you do it in intervals, maybe 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off for 5 minutes. And then I suggest you take a day break in between and maybe only do it 2 to 3 days a week at most, until your body gets accustomed to the movement and accustomed to jumping rope. And then you can slowly progress and increase from there. As you become advanced, you're going to be able to do maybe work out 4 to 5 days a week and do maybe a 20 to 30 minute workout. And again, I don't suggest 20 to 30 minutes straight workout. I highly suggest intervals. I have plenty of workouts here on my YouTube channel that you can follow, but like 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and continue to do that through circuits, through like 4 circuits, and get a good 20 to 30 minute workout. But again, if you are a beginner, I highly suggest only 5 to 10 minutes, 2 to 3 days a week. The height of your jump. Now again, it's a misconception that most people think it's a high impact sport. It's not. When you're jumping rope, you're literally only jumping enough to get that rope underneath your feet. That rope can be maybe a ½ an inch thick, if that. So you're only jumping maybe 1 to 2 inches at the most off the ground. So keep your jump low to the ground, enough to just get that rope underneath your feet. Cool down and stretch. When you're done with jumping rope, it is or any kind of exercises, it's extremely important to cool down and stretch. Now, a lot of people tend to skip this just as they do the warm-up, but it is extremely important. Again, you can watch my video on warm-ups and cool downs that goes more into depth on this topic, but it is important that you cool down and stretch. Now, this is where static stretching would come in, where you want to hold the stretches. And you could use things such as a resistance band, you could use lacrosse ball, you can use a foam roller. But again, it's extremely important to reduce soreness and reduce tightness of your muscles. Last but not least, recovery. We need to allow an optimum time for our bodies to recover. Our bodies need to adjust, recover, and regenerate. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we do nothing. You can take active rest days, just don't jump rope. Active meaning maybe go for a walk, maybe go for a swim. During that time too, you can also focus on your nutrition, focus on your sleep. But allowing our bodies to recover is super important. Okay guys, those were my top 10 ways to help you prevent jump rope injuries. Please be sure to take these seriously. If you follow these, I promise you'll have a more successful and more consistent workout and get results injury-free. Now please be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so that you can receive more videos like this along with jump rope workouts. I also have linked up down below all my social media accounts where you can follow me there as well. Once again, I'm Claire Bozeman, and as always, have a blessed day and let's get training.